Resign or be fired. First tonight on our news, live at 7, the F&M chairman says ZNS General Manager Clint Watson must step down after his political plans go public. Find out how he believes it could impact the national broadcaster. Also,
delays here at the Princess Margaret Hospital on its new emergency wing has pushed the project back a few weeks. Tonight, the health minister provides an important update. Stay tuned to Our News tonight.
Plus, slow down and rethink as shovels are ready to go for Rosewood Resort in Exuma. Locals and an environmental alliance wants government to slow down and consider the risks. Then in our news at 7:30, the health minister sets a 6-week deadline for the Princess Margaret Hospital's emergency department, while the former health chief says government will miss it again. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott, and for Candino Knows. Resign or be fired. That's the message tonight from the F&M to ZNS General Manager Clint Watson, after Prime Minister Philip Davis confirmed Watson is seeking the nomination in the next general election for the PLP. The F&M says Watson cannot hold on to the top job with the country's national broadcaster while at the same time campaigning for the governing party.
I think he should either resign or be fired. Let them find a role for him elsewhere in the progressive liberal body.
Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands making that demand just one day after the Prime Minister confirmed Clint Watson's political ambitions. Photos posted over the weekend show the ZNS General Manager at a progressive Liberal Party candidate module. The post has since been taken down, but the Tribune reports he's considering a run in Southern Shores.
It's a poorly kept secret that we have somebody who is not only a PLP, but a partisan PLP. And I don't think that the public media house of the Bahamas, which is supposed to be objective and neutral, should be run by somebody who publicly identifies as a partisan.
Watson previously worked as news director at Eyewitness News and hosted Beyond the Headlines, where he was often critical of the former minister's administration. The station is owned by Island Luck CEO Sebastian, who was also reportedly seeking a nomination for the PLP. After the PLP's 2021 victory, he was appointed press secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. 2 years later, he was appointed general manager of ZNS. Dr. Sands says the situation feels like a step backwards to the days before 1992, when he argues the state-run broadcaster was widely seen as a tool of the governing PLP.
Recall that there was an outcry when Clint Watson, who was the spokesperson in the office of the Prime Minister, was seconded or transferred to ZNS. Not only us, but the international agency with responsibility for public radio or public media wrote a formal letter of concern.
A nursing mother broke down in tears after a judge refused to suspend her 6-month prison sentence for vehicular manslaughter for 9 months. Ashanti Johnson gave birth to a boy on July 5th while awaiting sentencing for a December 11, 2022 traffic accident that killed her passenger Kendrick Moss. Her lawyer, Wellington Olander, had asked for the sentence to be suspended for 9 months because she was breastfeeding. While driving along the Queens Highway in Eleuthera, Johnson crashed into a wall. Johnson was driving without a valid driver's license and the car was uninsured. Johnson has been ordered to pay $10,000 compensation to Moss's estate. A custom-built air conditioning unit for the newly renovated Accident and Emergency Department at the Princess Margaret Hospital is delaying its opening. The timeline has been pushed back for 4 to 6 weeks. Despite a ribbon-cutting ceremony last week, the department remains closed. Last year, the department remains closed. Speaking on the sidelines of the launch of an AI pilot program, the health minister told reporters that the opening will open soon. Joshua Williams has this update tonight.
The accident and emergency block at the Princess Margaret Hospital is experiencing another setback. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville says the wing has still not opened due to reasons beyond their control. Dr. Darville says while the building is pretty much complete, there's still one thing that's outstanding.
there was a long lead item that had to be ordered. These items are not on the shelves where you could just pick them. It has to be built. It has set the project back by 4 to 6 weeks. I will report to the Bahamian people on the update of the air conditioning system, which is presently being built abroad for shipment into the Bahamas.
This update may come to the surprise of many. The renovations were started under the Minnis administration in 2021. Fast forwarding to December, the Davis administration had a grand ribbon cutting ceremony for the new facility, with hopes that the department would be fully completed by mid-year. When asked if this new development will further change cost,
not significantly. When you have a long lead item that you do not capture with a quote, you have to sometimes go back and get an additional quote. I do not think it's a substantial amount.
Darville says he understands the frustration patients and their families feel when they come here for emergencies, but he says that'll all be over soon.
It is water under the bridge, but I assure the Bahamian people that this will come to an end, and we will be able to improve the quality of services in a better, spacious environment for Bahamians. And I want to thank them for their patience, because it's been a long journey that has started in one government, and now I'm the one who will complete the job and open up the unit once and for all.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks, Joshua. After news broke that 2 young boys, ages 6 and 9, were allegedly being starved by their father and forced to scavenge from a dumpster for food, Feeding Network nonprofit organization Hands for Hunger is speaking out, stressing that no child or family should ever be left in such a desperate situation. Executive Director of Hands for Hunger, Keisha Ellis, says while the headlines are heartbreaking, the reality is not surprising for those working on the front line of food insecurity.
Unfortunately, we're not surprised to know that there are children who are living in such vulnerable situations like this one, right? Unfortunately, it didn't come as a shock. Right? It's disappointing that their parents, their families, known in their community, knew that they could reach out to Hands for Hunger for help, right? Or another community organization. I think that is the most disheartening part, that, you know, these children were left to fend for themselves and didn't think that there was anyone in the community, or there was no one in the community that could provide the help that they needed, especially when there are resources out there.
Since then, the 2 siblings are in good health and have been placed in protective custody. Social Services Minister Manslaughter told media Tuesday the boys are adjusting to their new environment. Hands for Hunger supports more than 7,000 families through its pantry and distribution network on Carmichael Road, serving between 20 to 50 families daily and providing some 500 pounds of food each week. Still, Ellis says the need is much greater. An estimated 1 in 4 Bahamians face some level of food insecurity. Officials are inviting those in the community to continue to partner with them to help end hunger in the nation. They also encourage those who may find themselves food deprived to not be ashamed and to reach out to them for assistance.
Anyone can be food insecure at any time. So in actuality, the fact of the matter is that if a person walks through our door at our pantry asking for help, then we take them at their word, right? We definitely know that if you've come here, we have food available. We will make sure that we provide you with support, because, you know, just because you are driving a quote unquote fancy car, or because you do not look like you are in a position of food insecurity, doesn't mean that you're not, right?
In a matter of days, shovels are going into the ground in Exuma for Integra Group's Rosewood Resort. Touted as a potential economic boom for the Black Point, Staniel Key and surrounding Exuma communities, the resort has gotten governmental approval and the green light from the government's environmental agencies. But not everyone is rolling out the red carpet for this project. The Save the Exuma Alliance, local business owners and Bahamians have stepped up their pressure campaign to try and get the government and developers to slow down and rethink some of the plans. Today, they hosted a team of Nassau-based media in Exuma for a first-hand look at the proposed dredging lanes, dock, and construction sites. One of the outspoken Exuma residents is Kieran Miller, owner of Staniel Key Adventures.
We get an approval for all intents and purposes 90 residency project. Well, I'm assuming that of those 90 residences, a hefty percentage of them are going to want to have access to boats. So that's more people out on the waters that aren't necessarily well versed in what needs to be done to protect areas like this. That exasperates the damage being done to coral reefs by things like anchoring, beach erosion, things like that happening from larger center consoles beaching themselves on these pristine beaches, keeping their motors in gear, eroding the sand out at an exasperating rate, whereas there's at that point 200%, 300%, 400% more boat traffic than normally would be. So things that would be worn down over the period of 10, 15, 20 years we're now seeing being torn apart in the span of 2, 3, 4 years.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Good evening, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, personally, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Another warm day around the islands. We are stuck in this warm weather pattern as we have that east to southeasterly flow. It is warm on the outside still right now. 89 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east at 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is a very warm 96 degrees. Current temperatures around the family of islands right now, all in the mid to upper 80s. 85 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 87. Alistown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key, and Governor's Harbor, 88s there. Nichols, San Andros here in the capital, 89s. Central Bahamas, 89 once again in Kemps Bay, Black Point, Exuma. We pick up 86 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, and in Deadman's Key. Georgetown, Exuma, Port Nelson, Rum Key, 85, 84 in Coburn Townsend, Salvador. Southeast Bahamas, 85, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Abrahams Bay, and Providencia, Tricks and Caicos Islands, Delectable Bay, 84. And deep south, Matthewtown, Inagua, you rounded the temperature profile at 87. Frontal boundary still sagging slowly towards the south. It's now just across the extreme northern Bahamas, really across central Florida. But the leading edge of that front producing some clouds as well as some showers and some thunderstorms across the extreme northern islands. We expect that front to stay there. I'm not going to really get any more momentum back down towards the south, but it's expected to lift back towards the north for the balance of this week. And high pressure is going to continue to dominate the remainder of the islands. Looks as though we're going to continue with that heat advisory from the Department of Meteorology for the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the tropics, and your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, I'd like to tell you that there's not much to say about that fourth quarter against Uruguay, but that's literally the whole job, me saying things. America wasn't fun.
And still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Caribta to Caricom and Chogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled...
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Okay, so some of the most gut-wrenching fourth quarter collapses of my sports fandom: Dolphins-Jets Monday Night Miracle, Blazers-Lakers Game 7 2000 Western Conference Finals, and Bahamas versus Uruguay last night. That fourth quarter collapse sent the Bahamas to a loss against Uruguay and an 0-3 finish in the group stage at the America. They were outscored 34-19 in the final frame of that 191 loss in Nicaragua and were eliminated from playoff contention. The Dominican Summer League is the proving ground for some of the top rookie prospects in the minors, and a pair of Bahamians have helped lead their teams to the Final Four. Boston Red Sox prospect E.J. Darvill and Athletics prospect Aiden Johnson have both helped their teams surge into the best-of-3 semifinals. In Game 1, Darvill went 1 for 3, but the Athletics got the 9-1 win. Darvill's numbers have improved drastically in year 2 of his pro career. In 32 games, he hit .352 with a .469 on-base percentage, a .533 slugging percentage, an OPS over 1,000, and 18 RBI. Improving on their performance from 2024, Team Bahamas finished with 4 medals and 5th in the standings at the Carifta Aquathlon, Triathlon, and Mixed Relay Championships. The highlights from Trinidad and Tobago include Lyle Menzies' gold in the 11-12 Triathlon and bronze in the Aquathlon. As if we in the country needed another legitimate reason not to like the Dallas Cowboys, we have one. They released Denzel Jackson. The team made the announcement as they continued to trim their roster headed into the regular season. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world. As tragedy strikes a Catholic school in Minneapolis, 3 people, including the shooter, are dead and 20 others hurt after gunfire erupted during morning mass. Plus, human rights lawyers in Eswatini challenging a secret deal with the U.S. that brought convicted felons into the country. And the end of duty-free small packages into the U.S. is ending Friday. Find out how the European countries are already pausing shipments when our news returns.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Kendino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, our conversation sets the tone for the nation. We've tackled the biggest issues on the planet, held world leaders accountable, and given voice to the people. From politics to culture, business to the environment, no topic is off limits. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. 9 seasons strong, and we're just getting started. This is On the Record.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile.
Welcome back to our news. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. 3 people are dead, including the shooter, after gunfire erupted at a Catholic school in Minneapolis Wednesday. A Justice Department official confirmed 20 others were hurt when the attack happened during morning mass at the Annunciation Catholic School just 2 days into the new school year. Police say the gunman was dressed in black and carried a rifle. Meanwhile, parents were seen rushing to pull students to safety. Human rights lawyers are suing Eswatini's government over a secret deal to accept U.S. deportees, calling it unconstitutional. Rachel Faber reports.
Human rights lawyers and activists have sued the government of Eswatini for making a secretive deal with U.S. President Donald Trump's administration. They claim it was unconstitutional for the African nation to agree to accept third-country deportees from the U.S. The case was due to be heard at the High Court of Eswatini on Friday, but was postponed until September 25th because the government did not file response papers, the lead applicant told Reuters outside the court. In July, the U.S. deported 5 individuals from Vietnam, Jamaica, Laos, Cuba, and Yemen. All were convicted felons, and Eswatini says it is holding them in solitary confinement until they can be repatriated. The applicants say the agreement was illegal because it was not submitted to Parliament for approval, the terms were not disclosed, and they do not know the condition of the deportees as no one has been allowed to access them. Eswatini's Attorney General said in a text message that the case had no legal basis.
The era of duty-free small packages into the United States is ending Friday, and European postal services are already hitting pause on shipments. The move follows the expiration of the de minimis exemption, which let goods under $800 enter duty-free. Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and Italy have stopped sending most goods to the U.S., with France, Austria, and the U.K. set to follow in the coming days. Southwest Airlines is making a big change to its customer of size policy, just as the carrier prepares to end open seating and move to assigned seating starting January 27, 2026. Up until now, travelers who needed more than one seat could wait until the day of travel to request a complimentary extra seat. Under the new policy, passengers will have to proactively purchase that additional seat at the time of booking. The airline says the cost will be returned after travel, but only if the request is made within 90 days. Southwest says the change ensures safety, comfort, and guarantees space on crowded flights. And over in St. Lucia, Prime Minister and National Security Minister Philip J. Pierre demanding answers after police first said evidence in 2 high-profile St. Lucia cases were missing, then claimed it was never lost. The items linked to the death of Shakandan Daniel and Kimberly De Leon were reportedly moved during a temporary building shutdown. Pierre says the confusion raises serious questions about the police force's credibility and whether critical evidence could even stand up in court. Still to come in our news, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was August 27th. And then in our news at 7:30. Weeks after cutting ties with Cuban medical agencies, the health minister says a few Cuban healthcare workers are still here. What it means for patient care and local hospitals straight ahead. Plus, alleged Dirty South gang leader Duran Monster Neely has been shot dead. Authorities say his murder may be linked to past gang conflicts. The story when our news returns.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Charybdis to Karakomanchogam, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record, we challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the Record.
What do you get when you're searching for the whole truth?
Less than 24 hours after the body of 12-year-old was discovered on a track road on Faith Avenue, police say they...
You get the most comprehensive half hour of news.
Breach of the party's constitution.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex.
Our News at 7 brings you that truth in all of the day's top stories, sports, and our view of the world. Join me, Candino Knowles, weeknights for Our News at 7. Stay with the team you already trust.
From 2017, one show has set the standard for current affairs in the Bahamas, and that's On the Record, one of the longest running current affairs shows on RTV. We've been the place where newsmakers come to talk. We've sat down with leaders in government, cultural icons, industry leaders, and international experts. From breaking news to in-depth analysis.
On this day in Bahamian history, on August 27th, 1753, Charles Marshall became the 7th Speaker of the House of Assembly. He left office in 1760. The first Speaker of the House of Assembly of the Bahamas was appointed in 1729, following the establishment of the General Assembly by Woodes Roger. Bowe said while this incident has drawn the most attention he had seen in his 31 years on the Defense Force, the organization would not succumb to the international pressures. It was the first time Bowe publicly spoke about the matter since a video appeared on social media websites purporting to show Cuban detainees being abused at the Carmichael Road Detention Center. Then in 2019, junior doctors ramped up their days-long protests by marching from the Princess Margaret Hospital to Rawson Square. As the junior doctor strike dragged on, then Minister of Health Dr. Dwayne Sands said, "The current state of the healthcare system is not sustainable, as nearly 70% of the doctors in the country were taking part in the withdrawal of services. Roughly 420 doctors on New Providence and Grand Bahama withdrew their services."
Well, to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. Well, that does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Megan Shepherd with the latest headlines. Megan.
Anthony, hi. Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day.
All right, so good to have you here with us this evening. Coming up, we'll tell you the 4 generation units shipped to Cat Island to alleviate power woes. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight,
months after the Bahamas canceled its contract with Cuban workers following talks with Washington, tonight the health minister provides an important update. Stay tuned to Our News tonight for more details.
Plus, another delay for the A&E department at PMH. The opposition's chairman is confidently expressing his disbelief in the new deadline given by the health minister. Meantime, phase 1 of redevelopment efforts of the Governor's Harbor Airport underway. The tourism minister says residents and guests are already pleased with the upgrades. And later,
a new voter card is on the way, but is the timing right? Find out why one governance watchdog is raising red flags.
We have the details for these stories and more when Our News continues.
Whether you're battling a chronic condition or offsetting a new injury, Doctors Hospital's comprehensive rehab services offer the help you need now.
Go to doctors.
3 advanced facilities at Collins Avenue, Carmichael Road, and Cable Beach means your personalized plan for care is just a visit away. From physiotherapy to occupational therapy and speech and language pathology, our team approach is all about rebuilding together. For a full list of services, visit doctorshosp.com/rehabilitation. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Grand Bahama is home to a unique economic arrangement, with that arrangement between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority under scrutiny as tensions persist.
It's not our direct responsibility to carry out these other things that people think we should be doing.
We need this to be dealt with quicker than quicker and sooner than sooner.
I have a vision for Grand Bahama, and my vision is actually bigger than my grandfather's ever was.
Watch City in Focus, the story of Freeport with Italia Hall, starting August 7th only on RTV.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab it.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Shepherd. Weeks after the government announced it would be severing ties with Cuban medical agencies, the health minister is giving an update on the issue. Dr. Michael Darville telling reporters this morning that about half a dozen Cuban healthcare workers are still in country. He delivered this revelation on the sidelines of an AI program launch. Our Joshua Williams was there and has this update.
A strained healthcare system has forced our nation to rely on foreign healthcare workers. For years, Cuba has held by supplying doctors, but government decided to cut ties with Cuba's medical recruitment agencies and move to hire Cuban healthcare professionals directly. The announcement made by Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville during the budget debate in June. The announcement came following mounting pressure from the United States after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio accused officials in Cuba's labor export program of being involved in human trafficking and labor exploitation. Accusations denied by Cuba and many Caribbean leaders, including Prime Minister Philip Davis. But where are we now?
That is now at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with our counterparts to the north. And once we get clarity on that, we will begin the entire process across the country.
As of June, there were 35 Cuban healthcare workers in country. Those who agreed to the new terms, Darville said, would be welcome to stay. The rest would have to return to Cuba.
To make it very transparent, in the country now, there's only 3 Cuban doctors that are part of our program and about 3 nurses. Most of where the Cuban professionals are in the country is in allied healthcare, which is x-ray techs and lab techs. They are part of a program that we're putting together to ensure that every family island have lab and diagnostics.
Darville also taking a moment to remind residents that the Bahamas isn't unique when it comes to these healthcare challenges.
Their presence in the country is very important for the delivery of healthcare systems because as we speak, countries to the north are still recruiting our healthcare workers. We are in a survival mode and we need to recruit workers from around the world.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Meantime, patients and families will have to wait a little longer as the Accident and Emergency Department at the Princess Margaret Hospital has been delayed again. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville told reporters today the holdback is beyond government's control and that the department should be ready in 4 to 6 weeks. He explained the air conditioning unit is being built overseas, but Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands is skeptical.
And I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm saying it as I said before, this deadline is going to be missed again. So when you finish the hospital, then come talk to us. Because they had promised that the hospital was the accident emergency was going to be opening up way back in 2025. And it's nowhere near finished.
Upgrades on A&E began in 2019 under the Minnis administration when Dr. Sands was health minister. Today, Dr. Sands doubled down on his criticism.
Many clinicians and persons in health have described conditions in the public health acute care facilities as the worst they have seen it. Conditions are bad for patients and people seeking health care. Okay? One of the challenges is that the minister has had a constantly moving timeline. He promised that it would be done in November of 24. And then it was January of 25. And then absolutely on his feet from the House of Assembly, boy, this could be finished no later than July.
Meanwhile, government is closer to breaking ground on a new specialty hospital. This as Dr. Michael Darville says his ministry has completed its part of the project. Last month, China agreed to fund 73% of the hospital through its Export-Import Bank. Costs have been revised from $290 million down to $267 million after a technical review. Dr. Darville says the project is now moving to the next phase, bringing the long-awaited hospital closer to reality.
We are in final stages with the document with the Chinese Exim Bank, the final document. It's presently at the AG's office going through the necessary assessments.
The 50-acre Propal Track facility will feature 200 beds, pediatric and maternal wards, ICUs, emergency services, surgical theaters, labs, and mass casualty infrastructure. Dr. Darville, who was speaking at an AI program launch, promised taxpayers will soon see shovels in the ground.
The procurement process for the groundbreaking at the site has finished my ministry, and now it's on the second pass to the procurement department at the Ministry of Finance. Once that's done, a contract will be awarded and you will see equipment on the ground for land preparation, which is part of our agreement prior to the final signing of the document with the Chinese ex-embassy.
And big changes are taking off in Eleuthera as part of a push to modernize Eleuthera's air travel infrastructure. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper and Works Minister Clay Sweeting toured the island's airports today as redevelopment works hit new milestones. Cooper highlighted major upgrades already underway at Governor's Harbour Airport, saying residents are seeing the difference and international carriers like American Airlines are noticing as well. Phase 1 of the project included a new departures terminal, arrivals terminal, and additional service buildings.
The fittings and the furnishings and the little things that our arriving guests notice really puts a special touch on this airport. So phase 1 was the terminal to my left. This work here that's ongoing is phase 2. And early next year, we hope to begin the reconstruction of the runways and the aprons. We have committed as a government to improve airport infrastructure all across the islands, and we are delighted that we are giving Governor's Harbour, the residents and guests here, the airport that they deserve.
Alleged Dirty South gang leader Duran Neely, also known as Monster, has been shot dead. He's the third of his parents' children to be killed by gunmen. The 37-year-old was murdered Monday night on Munnings Road. Rival gang members in prison reportedly celebrated and taunted one of his associates, shouting, "23, pick up your boss." Two of Neely's brothers, Anthony and Hans, were killed within a month of each other in 2017. Both cases remain unsolved and are believed to be linked to Duran's split from the One Order gang. In 2015, Duran and his brother Aaron were charged with gang membership over a photo showing them flashing a One Order hand sign. The charges were later dropped because the anti-gang law had not yet been gazetted. And after weeks of rolling blackouts, Cat Island residents are finally seeing relief. Bahamas Power and Light says 4 new generation units have arrived, with 2 already running and a third expected online by the weekend. In a statement, the power company said the upgrades come after 2 of the island's original 4 generators were sidelined by mechanical issues, forcing temporary load shedding that alternated power between the north and south. CEO Tony Seymour, while at the OPM press briefing last week, said crews have been working around the clock to restore full capacity, and residents can now expect more stable power in the coming days. All right, well, we've still got lots more news to share with you tonight, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us with their first look at temperatures. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Another warm day around the islands with temperatures getting into the 90s and those feels like temperature reaching the triple digits. It is still warm on the outside right now, 89 degrees with a few clouds. East winds at 9 miles per hour. Your feels like temperature very warm, 96 degrees is what it feels like on the outside. Satellite radar composite. We do have that frontal boundary that was across central Florida, ever so slowly sagging towards the south. It's now bringing some clouds as well as some showers and some thunderstorms across the extreme northern islands. We will continue to see that pattern tonight. This front is expected to lift back towards the north, not going to be making much trek towards the south, but high pressure behind that will continue to dominate the rest of the islands for the next couple of days. And of course, as I mentioned, that heat advisory from the Department of Meteorology continues. So if you plan on being on the outdoors, make sure you stay protected and stay hydrated. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
When our news comes back from the break, if you had questions surrounding the new biometric voter's card, you're not alone. One government watchdog is questioning the timing of the implementation. Plus, you've probably heard or even used the term boys will be boys. But have you ever considered the harmful stereotypes you may be reinforcing? Tonight in Behind the Silence, Youth in Crisis, our Daniela Dorset explores the impact of double standards amongst teens. Those stories coming up when our news returns.
The last.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. They're going to marvel.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a Dave's single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Mora's Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Mora's The Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. They're going to marvel.
Well, with the Davis administration moving ahead with plans to implement biometric voter cards ahead of the next general election, one government watchdog says the timing raises serious questions. Our Delvado Emmanuel reports.
The Organization for Responsible Governance says while biometric voter cards could modernize elections and bring long-term benefits, rolling them out just months before a general election could actually weaken public trust. Under the recently passed Parliamentary Elections Amendment Act, the new cards would be valid for 10 years, replacing the current system, and require voters to update their biometric data each cycle. The law also introduces an electric poll book to speed up verification on election day. But ORG's Executive Director Matthew Aubrey has some reservations about the timing of the rollout, given a general election slated for next year.
The question is not that it can have benefits, but is it the right time? And I think that's the process. So the discussion around biometric cards has been happening for a number of years. That it materializes in a very quick way related to the election, now that we're moving into the political season, or what they call the silly season, has implications.
The government has touted biometric as a way to improve security, cut down on fraud, and modernize government services. But Aubrey argues the bigger issue is citizen confidence.
A new system that comes up right before an election can be seen as a political move, even if it has a lot of advantages that have nothing to do with politics. We can look at the past election and the fact that they moved towards a permanent registry right before the last election.
The new system has also been criticized by Free National Movement Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright, who questioned how secure the system will be given what he calls a rush rollout. Aubrey says with voter confidence already shaken by issues such as snap elections, changes in the registry, and limited public education,
introducing it at this stage creates a potential attention that it's one side's using it for their advantage instead of that this could be something that could advance the electoral process.
Now, the rollout for the new biometric system is set for early 2026. ORG says they will continue to push for more public consultation and transparency. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Thanks so much, Delvado. Well, tonight in Behind the Silence, Youth in Crisis, we explore double standards when it comes to gender and the impact on the mental health of young people. One local youth leader tells our Daniela Dorset, society often expects young people to suppress their emotions. Here's why that could be an issue.
Gabriel John, president of the Beacon Ignited Youth Group, says that emotions are normal for everyone, men and women alike, but societal expectations often get in the way.
Younger men, teenagers, young persons, we said with emotions and parents, they say, especially with men, they say, oh, men ain't supposed to be crying. That's a woman's thing. God gives us emotions. Crying is a part of life. Crying is a part of being human.
He encourages young people to take time to know themselves, build strong morals, values, and standards, and understand their worth. Otherwise, they risk losing themselves.
And we see a lot of persons growing up with anger, growing up with emotional problems. Why? Because they haven't had the chance or haven't had someone in their life to say, it is okay.
Society's pressure to suppress emotions, particularly among men, can have dangerous consequences. Many turn to unhealthy outlets to release anger and stress as a misguided way to express themselves.
It has caused damage and causing a lot of damage because when doing that, it doesn't allow persons to find the right avenue to release. So they then find themselves drinking, find themselves involved in sexual activities, find themselves involved in gangbanging.
The effects of gender biases extend beyond the individual. They can impact future generations as trauma is passed down. John stresses that finding healthy ways to express emotions is key, whether through journaling, talking to someone, or simply allowing yourself to feel.
Knowing who to go to, finding out the right avenues, journaling if journaling is needed, and sometimes just scream. Just honestly embrace the emotions that you're feeling.
Reporting for Our News and reminding you that expressing emotions safely is a part of being human, I'm Daniela Dorset.
Coming up in sports, the Bahamas goes winless in Nicaragua at the America. Top baseball prospects faced off in the DSL semifinals. Carifta Triathlon, and the Cowboys do something unlikable. Big shock.
The future.
I'm very excited, and I can't believe it. It's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Kansas is the great house to play, even down to the staff is perfect. You're going to marvel.
Somewhere's Plaza, got it going on, yeah. Somewhere's Plaza, one-stop shopping is here. The family, community, for me. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, our prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Okay, so some of the most gut-wrenching fourth quarter collapses of my sports fandom: Dolphins Jets Monday Night Miracle, Blazers Lakers Game 7 2000 Western Conference Finals, and Bahamas versus Uruguay last night. That fourth quarter collapse sent the Bahamas to a loss against Uruguay and an 0-3 finish in the group stage at the America. They were outscored 34-19 in the final frame of that 191 loss in Nicaragua and were eliminated from playoff contention. The Bahamas once led by 14 and had a 6-point advantage headed into the fourth before Uruguay exploded for its best offensive quarter of the game. Dominic Bridgewater led the team with 29 points, shooting 4 of 10 from three-point range. Franco Miller Jr. scored 20. Kenton Smith added 16, while Keno Burrows finished with 9 points and a team-high 7 rebounds. Uruguay out-rebounded the Bahamas 39-25 and outshot them from three-point range 41-28%.
Before we got there, we was in the toughest pool. We wasn't expecting no easy game. We know what it was coming in, and they showed why they're a good team, you know what I'm saying? They make the right play, down every play, down the floor. They made some mistakes, but they capitalized on our small mistakes. But expectations was high, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was expecting a good game, and they showed us why we was expecting a good game.
The Dominican Summer League is the proving ground for some of the top rookie prospects in the minors, and a pair of Bahamians have helped lead their teams to the Final Four. Boston Red Sox prospect E.J. Darvill and Athletics prospect Aiden Johnson have both helped their teams surge into the best-of-3 semifinals. In Game 1, Darvill went 1 for 3, but the Athletics got the 9-1 win. Darvill's numbers have improved drastically in year 2 of his pro career. In 32 games, he hit .352 with a .469 on-base percentage, a .533 slugging percentage, an OPS over 1,000, and 18 RBI. Meanwhile, Johnson has been a consistent presence at the top of the lineup in his first season of pro baseball, in 39 games with a .257 average, .414 on-base percentage, 13 RBI, and 15 stolen bases. Improving on their performance from 2024, Team Bahamas finished with 4 medals and 5th in the standings at the Carifta Aquathlon, Triathlon, and Mixed Relay Championships. The highlights from Trinidad and Tobago include Lyle Menzies' gold in the 11-12 triathlon and bronze in the aquathlon. Also, Byron Musgrove Jr. took silver in both the men's 20-21 triathlon and aquathlon. The 27-member team also had several top 10 finishes in the mixed relay. As if we in the country needed another legitimate reason not to like the Dallas Cowboys, we have one. They released Denzel Daxon. The team made the announcement as they continued to trim their roster headed into the regular season. Daxon finished with 5 tackles and a sack in 2 preseason appearances this year. He signed with the Cowboys as an undrafted free agent last year after a standout career at the University of Illinois. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS, and eventually we're gonna get that national team that everyone dreams about, the one where all the best players share the court at the same time. Any party that can make that happen, y'all pretty much got my vote. Back to the studio.
On the other side of this break, Greg is back in the Weather Center. He's got a complete look at your forecasts across the country. Stick with us.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu. Could flip that from.
More than 20 years in the making and still growing. Everywhere you turn, our news is there. From Carifta to Carriacou-Chogum, the commendation of a queen, the coronation of a king, the controversies, our culture, in times of conscience and collective grief, connecting the stories of a country coming into its own, from then to now and still to come. Our news is everywhere, always there when it counts.
Every week, one show drives the national conversation. On the Record. We challenge the issues, ask the tough questions, and dig deeper. We bring in the experts, the decision makers, and the voices that matter. Our discussions shape policy, influence change, and inform the public like no other. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. and again on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Catch us streaming live on Facebook or catch up with your favorite episodes on our YouTube channel. The conversations that shape the Bahamas start here, on the record.
This is our news. Welcome back. We still have Fernand, which is still a tropical storm out there in the open Atlantic. That system will continue to pull away from us. Closer to home, we do have this frontal boundary that's draped across our area, bringing some cloudiness as well as some showers and thunderstorms to the northwest Bahamas. Expect this front to stall and eventually lift back towards the north. High pressure will build behind that. That will continue to dominate our weather for the balance of the week. So we are going to continue with that heat advisory by the Department of Meteorology. So if you plan on being on the outdoors, make sure you stay protected. As I mentioned, Fernand, still out there in the open Atlantic. Current position 38.5 north, 49.1 west. Winds up to 50, 60 miles per hour. Movement is towards the east at 12 miles per hour. And as mentioned, the system will stay out there in the open Atlantic, not affecting anybody. And we will continue to really just forget about this system. The remainder of the tropics, we have a couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, not showing any organization at this time. One strong one coming off of Africa as we speak, and into the Caribbean as well as the Gulf of Mexico. All is quiet there with a couple of tropical waves moving into Central America, but none of those show any signs of development at this time. Future forecast. That moisture associated with that frontal boundary to the north of us will stay in place. We will continue to see the showers actually stay with us across the extreme northern Bahamas. Might get 1 or 2 here in the capital tomorrow, and then Friday we expect the system to pull towards the north and away from us. And as I mentioned, high pressure will dominate our weather during the balance of the week. Boating forecast. Chance of rip currents out there, so if you plan on swimming along the Atlantic exposures, do exercise caution. East to southeast winds, 10 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet, and those 4-foot seas will be along Atlantic exposures. While in the central and southeast Bahamas, the rip current risk also continues down there. Southeast to east winds, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 5 feet along Atlantic exposures. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, no real change up until Saturday. It's just some spotty showers in the forecast, but we do expect an influx of some moisture on the weekend. Actually, the latter part of the weekend taking us into early next week. So we stick some showers in there. Cooler temperatures expected during that time frame as well. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks so much, Greg. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Guys, Megan Shepard here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button if you'd like to see more content like this. Follow all of the Our News social media pages so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.